Steeler Nation, I think we're doing this again. And I say, no, we're not doing this again. Tyreek Hill trade rumors, Dolphins, Tyreek Hill to the Steelers, Tyreek Hill demand a trade, Tyreek Hill is the next Pittsburgh Steeler. I think we're doing it again.
Here we go, Steelers! Here we go!
Steeler Nation, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia, where we are the 1-0 Steelers, and at the same time, we're the 1-0 Steelers. I'm actually watching the game that is the 49ers versus Seattle Seahawks, trying to understand who the Seattle Seahawks are. They lost against 49ers, so they're going to go 0-1 into Heinz Field next week. I look around Twitter, and it looks like we're doing it again. And when I say we're doing it again, is that receiver 2, Reagan receiver 2. This is the only receiver number 2 I want to see is this person. That's my receiver number 2 is Ray Gunn. We're doing it again because the Brandon Ayuk thing was last year. We didn't have one, this, and this. But I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to go down this avenue of like the Steelers have to go and sign, trade, and go and get Tyreek Hill. Obviously, he's upset and pissed off and very frustrated because he's playing in Miami, not getting the ball. Or if he is getting the ball, he's getting crushed, and Miami Dolphins are getting crushed too. But why do we seem to go down this route? Or some people do, but the Twitterverse and the ESPN articles and this kind of stuff out there, they're going that route. I will find the Twitter. I will find the tweet that people are talking about, and it's saying that Tyreek Hill is looking for or could trade. Not that it's happened yet, but is looking for or it could be traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers or Chiefs. They might want him back. There's some other news in there too with some really apparently he's in some trouble with one of his ex-wives to do with domestic violence. So there's all that kind of thing happening too. But it's always funny because right now the Steelers, they seem to get linked to it. They get linked to Ayuk, they get linked to all these guys all the time. So this was from Pro Football Talk, and it was saying there's already chatter in the aftermath of Sunday's win over the Jets that the Steelers could go all in for making a move for Tyreek Hill. Pittsburgh already has a receiver, DK Metcalf, making $30 million per year on a 5-year deal. Steelers don't have a clear number 2. Actually, I'm going to counteract that in a very short moment. But they're saying we could go all in, which is from Pro Football Talk and some other places out there. But I'm going to counteract that. The argument is that the Steelers go all in with Tyreek Hill. I don't think we need that. When you go to the box score, Rodgers threw the ball to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 players. I don't believe the Steelers need to have a clear number receiver 2 like that. And they didn't really get Roman Wilson involved too much into like his first regular season game. They relied on DK Metcalf as a true number 1 receiver. And they got the ball to Calvin Austin a few times, including a touchdown. And these also featured Ben Skowronek, who could be Rodgers' guy to get involved 3 or 4, 5 times a game. And just like that, play action pass, no one was covering Ben Skowronek. They used that same play again. They covered Ben Skowronek, and no one covered Calvin Austin III. So a big shout out to Arthur Smith and his offense, and also a big shout out to Rodgers, who's going to make some of these guys superstars for our team. And he's going to find productive wideouts or wide receivers and pass catchers, and we don't need that receiver number 2. Other outlets out there will say, go and get him, give him a 3rd and 4th or a 2nd round pick or and bring him over. And if they do go and get Tyreek Hill, then I'm completely wrong. But you don't need it. You got DK Metcalf, who got 4 receptions, 83 yards, 31 longest, had 7 targets. Calvin Austin had 6 targets with 4 catches. Paddy Frymouth, our tight end, he had 3 catches and 3 targets. Ben Skowronek had 1 target, 1 catch. Jalen Warren in the backfield, I think he'll get more numbers as we go. Same with Kenny Gainwell, had 3 receptions for 4 yards. So some of those screens didn't work. But Jonnu Smith is the guy that could be receiver number 2 or pass catcher number 2. To me, it goes DK Metcalf, Jonnu Smith, you feed in Calvin Austin, maybe you feed in Scotty Miller or some of those other blokes there, like Ben Skronik, to build up that depth chart. I don't believe the Steelers are going to do what these articles are saying. I'm completely on the other side of the narrative. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to try and find the ball coming up with versus the Seahawks. They'll find DK Metcalf again, establish a run. You want the team to run the ball, and Rodgers was finding the targets just fine in terms of Skronik and those guys and Calvin Austin, and he doesn't have a true receiver number 2, and they won the game and scored 34 points. So you read these articles and saying it's all about the Brandon Ayuk thing again, over and over and over. They need Ayuk. We get tied to these rumors and drama because we are a missing piece at receiver number 2. But the reality is they did okay. They got 34 points, 4 touchdowns. Calvin Austin stepped up, got a TD. Paddy Frymouth got the ball as well. When needed to, Ben Skronik stepped up. And also Johnny Smith got a touchdown with a dump-off pass. He ran to the end zone in a wildcat dump-off pass, straight to the end zone for a TD. So 34 points without a receiver 2. Maybe, yeah, if you want to go and get Tyreek Hill, it would increase that to more production, more TDs, more yards, all those things. But do you really need the off-field drama, on-field drama? Tyreek Hill was being a Chief, now as a Dolphin, and he's going to crack his shit because he's not getting the ball and he's unhappy. Do you want that? I don't know. I don't think you do. I don't think you really want to have Tyreek Hill to be a Pittsburgh Steeler because he's unhappy or pissed off. And actually, he hasn't even said anything. He said nothing in the media about wanting a trade. It's just the speculation about they see him frustrated on the sidelines, angry, and they put 2 and 2 together. Frustrated receiver on one side, then you have the Steelers having no receiver number 2 in that spot on this side. Oh, well, they should go and trade for this guy, bring him over, and it's going to happen. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're good with Metcalf. I think they'll develop. Roman Wilson, they'll get him the ball next week, see what he can do. Calvin Austin really stepped up with the TD, 4 catches, 70 yards. And Skronik is becoming like Rodgers' go-to guy, I think, or they're going to find certain plays for him. We saw how good also Scotty Miller was in the receiving game in the preseason, but don't forget about Johnny Smith being a pass catcher, maybe not receiver, but they're going to move him around too, I think, on the maybe in 5 wide or 4 wide as a tight end out wide to be a pass catcher, and also in the backfield. There may not be a, quote, receiver number 2 on this roster, but they're going to move all these players around and get them the ball. So Rodgers, he went for 22 for 30, 244, 8.1 yards average, 4 TDs, and he had 8 players who caught the ball. Do we really need a receiver number 2? Anyway, Steel Nation, I don't think it's going to be Tyreek Hill. I would be surprised. I think it's a 1% chance if they go and sign Tyreek Hill. All right, I'll see you later.